absolutely incredible.
That's my warm-up tune, that one.
Oh my
Gets
goodness.
there's a couple of nice little stretches in there and a pretty simple four to the floor beat on the guitar, so that gets everything warmed up and ready for all the technical pieces.
Beautiful harmonics in that one. What cover the basics? What tuning are you in
So
there?
I'm playing in open C. This is kind of my go-to tuning at the moment.
And so go through each individual strings,
so
what
it's
they are.
C, G, C, G, C, E. And the E on top is the third. So I often will flatten that to an E flat, and then I have a C minor tuning. But all the shapes are really simplified, so it's easy to multitask on the guitar. It kind of simplifies the left hand a little bit so that the right hand can take off and you can start to do some double tapping and that sort of thing. I do have the capo on second fret, so it's I guess it's open D at the moment, but it's such a great tuning and so easy to play. And there's also a lot of nice melodic possibilities within the harmonics as well.
Play just the strings open so we can hear how that
Sure.
tuning sounds.
So it's mostly doubled up, like the E and the D string, and then the A and the G, and then the D and the B, and then there's a third on top.
And one third on top.
So then if you flatten that, then you have a nice open minor tuning. So it's adaptable and nice and easy to play. You know, I mean, I started off playing power chords 16 years ago, so I've kind of gone full circle now.
Well, talk to us about that. How did you get started, and when did you first start playing guitar?
I think my father put a guitar in my hands when I was about 13. But previously I'd been just trying to get music and sound out of anything I could kind of find around the house.
Yeah.
I think my first instrument outside of music lessons at school was probably the egg slicer. True story.
The egg slicer.
The egg slicer.
Yeah.
So people my age, I'm 35, people around my age and older would remember the old egg slicers with the steel frame and all the wires.
Yeah.
Well, if you squeeze the frame, you can actually change the pitch of all the little wires. So you can tune in to whatever you're listening to on the Disney Channel or whatever was on back in the day. So I was always trying to mimic what I was hearing on the radio and around me. And I began playing guitar when I was 13. And my dad has a great record collection. I was listening to a lot of his music, a lot of Pink Floyd, and Cat Stevens and Bob Dylan and all that sort of thing. So I kind of learnt the strumming basic chords and rhythm and timing and I did a lot of jamming as well. So I did a lot of that. And then
Did you take any formal lessons along the way?
No. I'm pretty much self-taught. I think I've had maybe 2 or 3 lessons. My lessons are jamming with people, and sharing ideas with people. But a couple of years after that, I began playing in a band in high school, and they already had 2 guitar players, so I ended up playing bass guitar for them. And so again, I was learning rhythm, and I guess as a bass player, or as any musician in the band, but I think a bass player especially, you really have to lock into the beat. So that gave me a good sense of rhythm. And then I was introduced to fingerstyle guitar when I was about 16 or 17, and a lot of these old songs that were written for harp. I think "Oh Carolyn" was one of the...
Right.
Yeah, and all these sort of cascading melodies. So then I had these 2 elements. I had the low bass and rhythm, and then these cascading melodies, and then I found that open tunings really opened up some great possibilities with cascading melodies. So they're the sort of core elements that I still base my playing on today.
And where from Australia are you from specifically?
I've travelled around a lot, but I was born on the Gold Coast, grew up in Western Australia, and I spent my teen years onwards in Queensland, Australia, which is where I studied music. I formed a duet called Hunter Van Larkins, and it was that duet that landed me on Candy Rat Records in 2010. So I got my training on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland mostly.
Yeah.
That's where I spent most of my time. So not unlike Nashville, it gets pretty muggy in the summer. It doesn't get as cold over there though. I hadn't seen snow before I came here, so it's been a bit of an adjustment. But
And how long have you been here in Nashville?
so I got here in October of last year. I had some help getting the visa and making the move over here. And it was an interesting time to move over because it was just starting to cool down. So I kind of put a lot of pressure on myself because I found myself kind of cooped up in the house, trying to avoid the cold, and then finding my feet in a new country and learning to drive on the other side of the road. And people can't understand what I'm saying when I'm just ordering a coffee was like a new challenge, like latte, milk and coffee. The coffee here was different. It's been different, but so I've been here for about 8 months now.
Wow.
And I'm driving on the right-hand side of the road almost all the time now.
Good.
And
Good.
And I've met some great musicians.
Yes.
I've jammed with some great musicians. The guitar gathering just blew my mind.
Yep.
That was such a great, collective fingerstyle musicians. I mean, it's interesting. Sort of now that I've been here for a little while, I can kind of compare the music industry or my experiences in it. And Australia's a really interesting one. There isn't a huge market for guitar. There's these little pockets and guitar festivals, and it's not like I could just walk down the road and find someone that plays like I do and jam.
Right.
It wasn't that common. Over in Nashville, there's more guitarists than you could poke a stick at.
Yeah.
So I kind of had YouTube from about 17, 18 onwards, and that was kind of my point of reference to know if I was doing well, and also learning new techniques and finding new artists.
Right.
So it's kind of there's definitely an element of isolation to living in Australia, but I think it can be positive as well because you have to be quite inventive with your playing. If you don't have peers, people around you all the time, there are no rules. You can kind of just make up your own techniques on the guitar, and it doesn't matter if it's correct or not. If it sounds great, you do it. So it's going to be an interesting at least few years over here with my artist visa. I'm an alien with extraordinary abilities. That's what it says on the on the certificate. It's official.
Good.
I love that. So it's going to be an interesting few years, I think, now that I'm surrounded by amazing musicians that are just a stone's throw away. I think it's going to really push me to improve my technique, my overall understanding of music. I'm happy with my composition. That seems to just kind of evolve in time and with life experience. But I think the technique and knowledge on the guitar is really going to start to improve, a lot.
One of the things I have appreciated about your playing is just you do lots of covers of songs, bringing fingerstyle into pop music.
Yeah.
And in such a wonderful, I don't want to say one-man band way, but you're able to incorporate the rhythmical aspects of it, the percussive aspects of it, as well as the harmony.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one-man band thing, I've heard that before, but I think it's more about creating the illusion that there's a whole band playing.
Yes.
I think the more I play and the more I perform, I think that's the trick because, even with, the most modern technology and some of these, guys like Pateri Sariola who are placing contact mics where they're thumping and actually putting that through a compressor and EQing it as if it was a kick drum. So he sounds like a whole band almost, but it's still a guitar. So I think it's more about capturing the elements of a band and then playing it with feeling and getting that message across to the audience.
Can you place a small example of incorporating these various things?
Sure. Well, when I talk about percussion, the first thing I talk about is really building the independence between the left and the right hand, not unlike say a piano player, because traditionally you'd be strumming the guitar with this hand, and you'd have the shapes with this hand. Well, once you start playing fingerstyle, the lines are blurred between these the different hands and what they can achieve, because you can now play notes on the neck of the guitar with the right hand. You can play percussion with the right hand. You can play percussion with the left hand. So to begin building the left and right hand independence, you can just drop D on your guitar. That's probably the easiest way to do it. You don't need this fancy open C tuning. If you've always played in standard tuning, just a drop D makes it really easy just to get a nice power chord with a simple hammer on the second fret.
And catching the 6th and the 5th string.
Yeah, and I'm not actually playing any other strings. All I'm playing is just the 6th and the 5th, and maybe the 4th is in there a little bit as well.
And you're just hammering on strong enough to make it sound.
Exactly, yeah. And dropping the E string to a D is going to make that a bit easier to play as well. And then just introducing a really easy beat on the guitar. There are two places I play percussion. One is up here, which I can talk about as well. And the other is at the base of the guitar. And this is more of a feature, I guess, in a song where you can... Or even to simplify it again, it could just be... So all I'm doing there is just letting my hand fall, and that's the position I'm playing in. So you're not kind of putting yourself in any awkward positions, because it's going to make it harder to get back to the original picking position.
The base of your thumb and the wrist is the equivalent of the bass drum.
Exactly, yeah, and just the fleshy part of the wrist here, the palm of the hand, just here, gets a nice kind of doof sound on the guitar. And then to get a nice pop sound on the bottom of the guitar, the base of the guitar, I'm actually using my ring finger, and I'm kind of sticking that out a little bit, and I'm getting a nice pop. Because I think if you just kind of slap the bass of the guitar, it doesn't quite have the same effect. So you can start to introduce just a simple beat, and then some hammer-ons. Start to, you know, sort of get sort of tricky with the bass line, and then introduce other elements like artificial harmonics and double tapping and that sort of thing. But that's a great starting point for percussive playing without having to sort of veer away from standard tuning too much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Tell us about some of the gear that you're playing on today. What kind of guitar is that?
Sure. So this is a Luke Kalquist guitar. Luke is a good friend of mine. He's from Brisbane, Australia. And he's a boutique builder. You know, it's just him in his little workshop, and he makes these to order. And
sounds amazing.
It's great. You know, I've been playing a Cole Clark recently, which they're great for the plug and play. This guitar was built from the ground up to my specs, which is awesome, because I find the more I'm playing, the more I need more space on the fretboard. You know, the nut width is a little wider. This is a baritone scale length, so around the sort of 1st to 4th fret, there's a bit of a stretch there. But then again, I've simplified the shapes using the tuning. So I was there when Luke picked out the woods for this guitar, which was awesome. It was like my baby, you know.
Wow.
You know.
Now, folks want to know more about those guitars. Does he have a website that they?
Luke Kalquist does have a website. It's Kalquist Guitars. Kalquist Guitars.
And how do you spell that?
K-A-L-L-Q-U-I-S-T.
Okay.
Yeah, if I got it wrong, I'll probably owe him a beer when I get back to Australia. But Luke Kalquist, he's a great builder. He's starting to get a real reputation amongst the other sort of boutique builders around the world. And so the top is Moon Spruce.
Moon Spruce. I have not heard of that before.
So apparently, you know, a lot of the builders have a bit of a laugh about it, but it's just a really nice high-grade spruce. But apparently the story is they harvest the wood according to moon cycles and stuff. It's like some cosmic hippie stuff.
There you go.
But it sounds great. And when he was picking out the blank pieces of wood before he'd done anything to it, he was tapping on the wood to get a tap tone to find, you know, which piece of wood had the right, I don't know, tension or the right sound or resonance or something like that. And not unlike I used to with the egg slicer, I wanted to find out what note that was, the tap. And I got my guitar out, my guitar that I had at the time, and I played the note that the tap was making, and it was a perfect C on this piece of wood. And funny enough, I've ended up tuning this to open C, because I originally had baritone strings on this because it's a baritone guitar, but then to get open tunings, I'd have to tune it even lower, and it was just a bit muddy for my liking. So I've put standard strings, Elixir 12 to 56, and I've tuned it up to open C. So the guitar is actually tuned to the wood as well. So the overtones and the resonance of the guitar, especially, you know, recorded, is amazing. So
now, and you're running direct from that right into this amazing amp. Tell us about this amp.
Yeah, let me just move my hat. And yeah, this is a brilliant thing. I don't know if I can sort of pick it up. Oh, there we go. an awesome thing.
We'll see if we can get a good shot of that.
I can probably lift it up here if you want to check it out. So,
and I couldn't help but notice your logo on the front.
It's pretty flash, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like that.
That's
pretty
snazzy.
These guys are awesome. I met the Elite. This is Elite Acoustics is the brand of amplifier, and I met these guys at the NAMM show in January in Anaheim, and I went to play these guitars, and I tried a few other acoustic amps, and this one just sounded the most natural to me. It also has a 6-channel. I don't know if I've got too much room to spin around, but you can kind of see that. There's actually like a 6-channel mixer built into this thing, and with all the multiple outputs on my guitar, you can just plug everything straight into this, use it as a DI, and add effects, and it's amazing. It's an amazing amp.
Now, your guitar does have 3 outs on it, so talk about that. Talk about
it
outputs.
does. There's it's interesting. I've had to put so many different pickups in the guitar to make it sound like kind of one solid signal, and for me, it's the same approach to micing a guitar in the studio. It's less about having to EQ it after the fact, and more about having the different signals complete the frequency range that we can hear. So. The first one that you can probably see is the Bags M80.
Great pickup.
And LR Bags are a great company. I've been working with those guys for a while. I don't think they've made a dodgy product ever. So the M80, I actually use that to, usually I would go through a Boss OC3 octave pedal.
Right.
Because this picks up a little bit of the neck sound, but it doesn't really pick up the thump. It's more about the attack on the strings and having controllable low end for that reason. Because if you're going through an octave pedal with some mics or anything, and you thump on the guitar, it's trying to recreate that an octave lower, and it doesn't sound great. So I use that to go through the octave pedal. Then I also have the LR Bags Anthem, and the K&K Trinity Mini. So
the Anthem is underneath the saddle, and then the K&K is a mic on the inside?
Yeah, so the LR Bags Anthem has the piezo. It also has the a mic. I think it's in the bass of the guitar somewhere. And the K&K Trinity, it has a microphone. That's the one you can see here. Just here.
Okay.
It's supposed to be placed between the G and the B. I'm sure there's a reason for that. And then there's also 3 of these little contact mics that are included in the K&K system.
On the underside?
They're on the underside of the bridge, and they're glued between each set of 2 strings.
Okay.
So they pick up all the strings. And what happens is when you listen to the K&K pickup, and then you fade in the LR Bags, they just complete each other. They're not fighting for the same frequency space, I guess.
Yeah.
So both of those give me the sound that I want, and this just gives me a controllable low end and the sub octave. And I did have a fancy pedal board I was going to show everyone today, but I think it's been roughed up a little bit in transit, and some of the wires need to be fixed and that sort of thing. But basically, I'm just running through the respective preamps for the pickups. So the LR Bags is going through LR Bags Align series reverb and a session DI, and then the K&K is going through. It comes out stereo, and check this out. It's a bit of spaghetti back here, but the K&K is the middle one. This will actually come out stereo and go into a quantum blender, which is the preamp made by K&K, and it'll be EQ'd separately and split into 2 mono channels. So
you, when you actually are playing solo through your rig, you're actually coming out stereo.
Yeah. Well,
or is it more of a stereo in the sense of part of the frequency range?
Well, it's getting split into the microphone and the contact mics. Yeah, so it's coming out stereo, and then it's getting mixed. You can actually EQ the pickups separately in the K&K. So there's actually like 5 pickups in the guitar, really. And then the K&K is going into a line 6. What is it? M5.
Yeah.
And it's a Swiss Army knife, really. Yeah. It can only do one effect at a time, but it has every effect you could possibly want. So for any songwriting, there's always some cool effect that I can use. But I use a shimmer reverb for that. And it's all of this and all the effects and preamps that I use are really just about filling the entire frequency range. So I'm using a sub-octave bass, and you've got all the cool guitar stuff. And then on top, you've actually got a shimmer reverb, which is a really cool kind of synthy reverb that is pitched up an octave. So you've got sub bass, and you've also got octave above what you're playing just in reverb, so you're kind of filling the whole space.
Well, I know at the Guitar Gathering Conference, it was an incredibly full sound.
Yeah,
between the sub stuff and the super high. It was you had
fun.
Covered the whole frequency range there. It was
that's really fun, and Phil Keaggy blew me away. I'd heard about Phil from some friends of mine. Trevor Gordon Hall's a good friend of mine who I'll be doing some shows with soon.
Yeah, up in Canada.
Up in Canada with Antoine Dufour and Trevor.
Which is coming up second week of July.
Yeah.
17th, 18th, something like that.
Because I've got a really great memory. It's July the 13th at Hughes Room in Toronto, and then between the 18th and 20th in Quebec, so 18th, 19th and 20th around the Quebec and Montreal area. But all those details are on my website and Facebook.
And it's vanlarkins.com.
Vanlarkins.com, yeah. And Van Larkins on Facebook as well. So, but yeah, Trevor had told me about Phil Keaggy, and it was really great to see him live, and he just blew everyone off their chairs. It was amazing. Amazing stuff.
And the tour in Canada, it's Trevor Gordon Hall and Antoine Dufour.
That's right. Yeah.
So that should be
it's going to be fun.
Killer lineup.
It's going to be fun. I've got to get practicing for that because Antoine's a perfectionist, and Trevor just keeps getting better and better. He was amazing when I met him, and now he's just like, he came to visit me when I first got here and was like, oh yeah, I like to play arpeggios with a melody on top, and I'm like. And he played it, and I just went, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
He's playing these amazing rolling arpeggios with an independent melody on top of that.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's a brainiac. He's
awesome. He was at our fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat last year.
Right.
And we had a magical moment. These magical moments happen. At the end of the Phil Keaggy's night where he was playing, he just said, well, let me play with somebody. And so Trevor had his guitar in the car. So we waited, and he got his guitar. And he just plugged in through his Tonewood amp, which I know you're going to talk about in a minute.
Yep.
And we had a magical moment there with Trevor Gordon Hall and Phil Keaggy.
Wish I was there to see that, but I'm sure I'll get to witness that. Well, I was touring with Trevor about 7 years ago. Yeah, I did a tour with Trevor, and he was the kalimba guy.
Yeah.
He was the kalimba guy, and on the pamphlet when we opened for Don Ross, he was the kalimba player, and I was the king of the whammy capo. Because I just released this track, title track on my album at the time called Wandering Hands. Can't believe they let me get away with calling it that. But I put the capo on the 11th fret, and it was the only position on the guitar where you can it's actually in tune on both sides of the capo. So I was playing both sides of the capo, and in the process I bumped the capo and went, oh, that's really cool vibrato. And I had my G7th Nashville capo, and I was wiggling that at the same time as playing either side of the capo, and so I was the whammy capo guy. And I actually think Kaki King has developed a tool now that you put on the 11th fret and play it like a koto, so you're playing either side of the thing. But
such amazing things. Well, we'll let you get catch your breath for just a second. Let me have a couple of announcements, and then we'll have Van play another song. We'll give something away too. Let's give something away. We're going to give away Van's most recent CD from a year or so ago, Cinder Moon. If you would be so gracious to autograph this before we go.
Lovely.
We have our top people picking a name for us. While they're doing that, tell us about this project real quick.
So this is my second solo release, and it usually takes me about 5 years to compose all the songs for an album. This was no exception. And the title track, which I can play sometime during this if you like.
Please, yes.
I started writing that in Toronto, and when I was touring with Trevor and Manelli Jamal, and then I finished it in Australia, and it became the title track. It was recorded in a little bush studio in a place called Conondale, and the engineer's name is a dear friend of mine. His name's Pixie, or Pix, and he's got all the nice old valve gear and mics and handmade German microphones, U47s and 87s, and so it was recorded there and then mastered by Antoine Dufour.
Oh, wow.
So I've actually been getting Antoine to master my stuff for quite a while. So recorded in a bush studio and then mastered by the perfectionist up in Quebec. So.
Well, the winner of this is Dave White, our good friend Dave White, who we just saw last week. Hopefully he didn't buy this CD, and we're just going to give him another one. But
that's all right. That's fine.
But give it to a friend, Dave. Then congratulations, Dave. Send me your information. I think I have it in 100 places, but send it to me anyway, Dave, and we'll get you fixed up on that. I needed to announce a couple of things. Our good friends over at G7 Capos are going to be giving one lucky viewer tonight a brand new Performance 3. This is their new Performance Capo. And so some winner, some lucky viewer tonight, that'll be the last thing we give away, is going to win a great capo from G7. Great guys over there, and just about the most accurate capo that I've ever worked with. Yep.
That's the one. What's the treat?
We have a couple of things at Van's website, vanlarkins.com. You've got your CDs there. You've got tabs as well for a lot of these different pieces are there.
Yeah.
If you're interested in contacting him for lessons or to see where he's going to be performing, that's all on his website as well. So check that out, vanlarkins.com. Also, Van is going to be a part of our Fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat, which you can get all the information for that at fingerstyleretreat.com, www.fingerstyleretreat.com. And that will get you all of the information regarding our Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat, which is coming up, and it is going to be crazy great. We've got Don Ross from Canada, only person in history to have won the International Fingerstyle Championship twice. He is going to be there. I remember listening to his music a year and a half or so ago thinking, gosh, who would be just the ultimate one to be able to get to our Fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat? And it was Don Ross. I'd never met him. We were able to work it out, and so he is going to be with us at our Fall Fingerstyle Retreat, as well as Ethan Case. And double-necked guitar and looping. It is quite an experience. One of the most creative guys with tapping going on now, and it's just amazing. So Ian is going to be there as well.
Great.
And then you're going to be there as well.
No pressure, hey?
Wow.
Ethan Case and Don Ross.
Wow, we have stacked it, I must admit. You can get all the information at fingerstyleretreat.com. This one is a different type of event than our summer conference. Our summer conference we just had, it was fantastic. Lots of people, big sound systems, fun nights, all that sort of stuff. This is something very different. We're having it October 31st through November 3rd here in Nashville, actually outside of Nashville at Thompson Station at a wonderful retreat center there. So this is a different kind of event. This is big stone fireplaces, big comfy couches, and you're sitting 10 feet away from some of the world's greatest fingerstyle guitarists as they show you what they do, and you're interacting with them and asking questions and whatnot. Only about 25 people can register, and actually 2/3 of those slots are already filled. So we only have about 7 or 8 different slots that are still available. This event will surely sell out. It sold out last year, I think it sold out in July last year for our November event. It sold out, and we had a waiting list. So if you're interested, all the meals and lodging, everything is included for the 4 days, 3 nights that we are there. It's during the peak autumn time here in Nashville. So the colors, the autumn trees, and all that sort of stuff. The colors are amazing. The vibe of the whole event, it's become one of my more favorite events that we do all year long. So check it out, fingerstyleretreat.com. We've got a stellar lineup. If coming to Nashville, hanging out for a few days in the peak of autumn colors and listening to some of the world's greatest fingerstyle guitarists while you sit on comfy couches sounds good to you, then check it out. It is a great event, fingerstyleretreat.com. You can get all the information there. All right, enough of me blathering on. Let's hear you do another song.
Sure.
What song are you going to do for us?
I'm going to play Eye of the Tiger.
Good.
I love this tune. And, I grew up in the 80s, so I love 80s music and covering 80s music. So I thought I'd give this one a go.
Please.
And I actually did a music video for this in a boxing gym in Melbourne, Australia.
I saw it. It was
and
glorious.
It's glorious, and it's also one of the cheesiest music videos I've ever made.
Oh,
so I was pretty proud of it.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was
I
great.
was kind of going for the
It was
cheese.
a little theatrical, but
Well, the thing, the part where I'm looking into the camera and I'm like punching with boxing gloves on. I forgot what I was supposed to be doing, and I just started, I had this part to play. It was fun.
It got me there. It was great.
Sounds pretty tuned. So C minor now. Well, good fun.
Incredible.
Good fun.
Incredible. So many layers to all of that. Wonderful. We have so many questions that are starting to get on there. If you do have a question, please type it in and let us know. If you can do it in all caps, that helps us be able to pick that out from just the regular chat that's going on. Vic G is asking, does Van know of another awesome fingerstylist who we may have not heard of? Who are you listening to these days?
I've got a few go-to fingerstyle artists I listen to. My new kind of benchmark, point of reference on whether or not I'm playing, I'm doing well enough, is now Alexander Misko.
Oh, yeah.
He is just mind-blowing and one of my favorite players. And I guess he's put so much work in, and I make excuses like, oh well, maybe he had YouTube when he was like 3 years old, and that's why, because he's a younger guy. But he's just an amazing player, and he's getting really inventive on the guitar. It's inspiring because I'm always trying to get new sounds out of the guitar and play on the other side of the fretted note and play these sort of notes. He's playing with like a chopstick on the strings and making cello sounds, and he's got these banjo tuners. So he's actually tuning the harmonics up and down in the melody, and and the first time I saw that done was probably Michael Mannering, the bass player, played with Hedges, and so he's just mind blowing. And I think some other players worth mentioning, Petteri Sariola. Petteri is a singer-songwriter, but his guitar playing is phenomenal as well. I mean, the fact that he can sing as well, like that well, and play is should be illegal. I'm jealous. It's amazing. So I think he's just released an album maybe within the last year, and if you look up his name, Petteri Sariola, you'll probably find his cover of the U2 song, one of the U2 songs, and he's just an amazing player, so definitely check him out. And John Gomm, I think a lot of people would have heard of John. But they're probably my go-to at the moment, Alexander Misko and Petteri Sariola. I also like Thomas Lieb. I love his rhythm is just phenomenal. I think he actually trained in like African rhythms as well, and he plays that on the guitar at the same time as playing. And Mike Dawes. I had a road trip with Mike Dawes from Vegas to LA. Can't tell that story on camera, but really nice guy and phenomenal player, and he just keeps smashing it. He's doing so well. So
everybody brings their own piece of it.
Exactly, But I'd highly recommend checking out Alexander Misko and Petteri Sariola. They're some great players.
Skip is asking, does Van read music?
As much as I need to, yes. I can't sight read guitar like manuscript. I can sight read guitar tablature. But I understand, the fundamentals of music and key signatures, time signatures.
Now, did you do your own tabs?
I did my own tabs, yeah.
Because those are quite involved. I mean, you passed out to the Guitar Gathering folks the arrangement that he just did of Eye of the Tiger, 8 pages, gloriously transcribed out. And no easy task.
No, it took me some time. And I use Guitar Pro software for that. Those guys helped me out quite a lot, and they actually released the tab and the video Eye of the Tiger through their channels as well, which was pretty cool. But the beauty of Guitar Pro is you can write in the guitar tablature, and then it automatically writes in the manuscript above it, and then you just adjust the note values and put in your BPM and I've been going as far as screen capturing that and having it at the bottom of the screen for my videos, so you can kind of like play along videos, which is kind of fun. But I can read music enough to tab my own music, and as much as I need to communicate with people that can.
And quite a few of Van's work is tabbed out. So go to check out his website. I know they've got some of your tabs. I think Candy Rat's got some of your tabs.
They do,
up there as well. So check that out. Lee Candiotti is asking, do you ever perform tunes in standard tuning?
Not really. I've started playing harp guitar. Picked up this Timberline harp guitar and started playing some music on that. I think I actually brought that along to the Guitar
you
Gathering.
played Eleanor Rigby.
I had about 5 minutes to practice that morning, but that's fine. I'd only just started playing harp guitar, so I'm new to that club. But but I'm playing in standard tuning on the harp guitar. But after playing in alternate tunings for so long, coming back to standard tuning, it's almost like standard tuning is an alternate tuning now. You know, aside from the normal chord shapes and scales, it's probably a lot easier to solo in standard tuning, I find. But as far as the one-man band thing,
tricky.
It's all open tunings for me. But there's people like Gareth Pearson, who I was talking to today on Skype, and I think he's hoping to make his way over here at some stage.
And I recommended you to Muriel Anderson.
Oh yeah, yeah, she's great.
For her to check out with the harp guitar stuff.
I'd like a couple of lessons from Muriel on her harp playing, because she's just mind blowing. But yeah, people like Gareth Pearson, or Gazza as I call him. I used to tour with him as well. He can make a guitar in standard tuning sound like it's in open tuning with the way he plays, you know, and his cascading melodies and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff. But I rarely play in standard tuning. The closest I get, which I can maybe squeeze in another tune at some stage, is Cinder Moon, the title track of my new album, where it's in standard tuning with the B string raised to a D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you kind of get that seventh minus seventh thing going on, and so that's probably a nice introduction to open tuning for people. Just raise the B string up to a D, and then play all of your kind of E minor shapes and harmonies on the neck, and you get some really nice harmonics and open droning strings. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
Well, yeah. Why don't you play that for us? I'm here, you're here, let's go.
All right.
While he's doing that, let's give away one more thing. We're going to give away, man, you know a guy is cool when he has his own shirt. Some lucky winner is going to win a Van Larkins, an official Van Larkins shirt with the logo. What a cool shirt. Now, here's the trick. We only have a large. So,
yeah.
So,
hey, but that's an Australian large.
An Australian large.
So it's about a medium.
Oh, so it's even smaller for an
your clothes. I went shopping for clothes the other days, and your clothes sizes here matched your portion sizes. I've noticed.
Too much.
We don't even have a cup as big as your large over here. So, it's an American medium probably.
No, you may not pick that person. Should we pick that person?
Who's that? Oh, Tommy Emmanuel.
No.
He was just saying how much he enjoyed my playing.
Oh.
No, that's not something. Go on.
Okay, we are going to give it to him. All right, the winner of this is Gina Mandello, which we're laughing because Gina...
I'm staying with Gina at the moment. Gina's managed Tommy for about 14 years, I think. Got him started over here. They kind of paved the way for a lot of guitarists and Australian guitarists, and Gina helped me to get my visa over here and has been introducing me to a number of people, and I'm living in her basement, and apparently that's kind of like the initiation for the Australian guitarist. You got to live in Gina's basement, and you know, do a bit of dog sitting, and I've been out in the garden and stuff, and Gina's been introducing me to
Joe Robinson spent time in Gina's basement.
Yeah, Keith Urban's pictures up on the wall, and pictures of Gina and like Tom Cruise on the wall. I'm like, man, who is this? This is cool. So Gina's been amazing. She's really helped me out a lot, coming to America and introducing me to everyone and taking me shopping and showing me how to, where to go and getting my feet on the ground over here.
So Gina, you don't need to send us your address. We'll just have Van walk upstairs.
I'll hand deliver it.
And hand deliver this one.
I'll hand deliver that.
That's funny that you would pick that name. Wonderful. Let's see, one question while you're tuning. What can you do when your right-hand fingernails don't grow and they keep breaking? You got natural nails?
No, well, I had the same problem, actually, back when I was a landscaper in Australia. Before I became a full-time musician, my fingernails would just fall apart, if I tried to use them. So I actually have an acrylic coating on my nails.
But they're your nails, but just an acrylic coating.
Yeah, my nails are underneath there, but I just get an acrylic coating on top so that they don't kind of fall to pieces when I'm playing. And but I prefer the feel of it. I was used to fingertips, so I keep my nails pretty short, so I kind of have the option of both. I can feel the strings as well as get the nice attack off the nails. But
And they're not very long. I mean,
no, I try and keep them pretty short.
Of an inch
I don't like to show off the fact that I've got nails, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going for the fashion statement. It's just a tool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can definitely get an acrylic coating. I think it's only about $15 down the nail shop, and yeah, I always feel like I'm intruding though when I go and get it done, because all the wives have gone in there to have a bit of time away from the blokes. And I walk in there and they're like, what's he doing here? You know, and I sit down, I'm like, I'll have the nails, thanks. How's it going? You know?
How often do you have to have that done?
Oh, just once a month. I have my nice feminine day once a month. I go out and get my hair and my nails done and get a massage once a month.
There you go.
I do. Yep.
There you go. All right. Play us. Let's see. We're almost out of time here.
Okay. Well,
is this your last song?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then let me close it. No. This is great.
Yeah.
So let's give away our capo then.
Cool.
So we need a winner of our capo, and just pick somebody that hasn't won before. So you got to check the list. We're training some folks here, so we've got that looks good. Okay, the winner of this is Ron Campbell. Ron, send me your information at service@mightyoakmusic.com, what you've won, and all, and your mailing address, phone number, things like that. Service@mightyoakmusic.com, and I will give that information to G7, which will send you this incredible capo. Great, $50 worth of a capo, and it's worth every penny. Best I've used.
Got one just like it, actually.
Yeah.
I think I prefer black. I might swap them out.
Black is kind of cool, isn't it? They come in black, silver, and gold.
Yeah, I got the gold, and they put my name on there as well.
Oh,
they
there
spelt
you
it
go.
right.
Man, see, you're the man.
Cool. So,
let's see. Any last minute things? Check out the Fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat if you're interested in doing that. Slots are filling up quickly for that. So if you are interested in that, and it's going to be great. Check it out, fingerstyleretreat.com, and that'll get you all the information that you need to know about that. I think that's about all that I need to do on that. Tell us what you're going to play, and then play it for us.
So I was going to play a tune of mine called Cinder Moon, and maybe I'll try this new device that I've started using.
Sure.
So might want to mute the DI over there, because you're probably going to get a bit of a pop.
Okay, and we're going to move an amp into place.
3, 2, 1. So I heard about this Tonewood amp thing, and a lot of the guys, like Mike Dawes, have been using these, and it's the coolest little device. Actually, it adds effects to your guitar and then amplifies it through the body of your guitar. So it's not a sales pitch. They're not paying me to do this, but I'm just letting everyone know.
It is a cool
I don't know how it works. It's magic, you know. And so essentially, it goes from your pickup to this device, and then it sticks to the back of your guitar using magnets and wizardry, and just like that. And it sticks there with magnets, and there's a little speaker on there. And it amplifies through the body of the guitar, which is really cool. So I might have a bit of a go. I've only just got it a couple of days ago. Yeah. Got it installed last night. So
yeah. And once you're up and running, we'll get the mic in place. It's actually not making what you're hearing or going to hear is not coming through the amp. So this is just strictly a mic coming through your sound hole. So it's really cool that you can get reverb and delay through your sound hole. So. It's a cool little thing. We offered it, and we know the Tonewood amp folks.
They're great. Yeah, really nice.
It was part of our, I don't know, it's probably about several months ago, maybe a year or so ago that we offered it. So it was great.
Yeah, it's an amazing device. I think it's really, it really inspires you to create music.
Yeah.
You know, when you're playing music at home, and
you can take it outside. You can take it with you wherever. Cause
I can't wait to get it back to Australia, because I don't think a lot of people in Australia know about it yet. But I'm going to go around to my friend's place and go, man, the sustain on my guitar just keeps getting better and better with age. Check this out. You know? So, but so the effects that you're hearing are actually coming out of the guitar, which is really, really cool. So super cool. So I've only just got it. I've been playing it for a day, so I'm going to try it out with Cinder Moon, which is the title track from my latest album. So.
Wonderful. Thank you, Van.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
What an
Appreciate
honor
it.
to have you here. Thanks to our crew. We've got our producer tonight, Stephen Quinn, our trainee, Cameron. Thanks for doing it. Our wonderful moderators, Doug and Neil. Thank you guys so much. Keep up the great work in your own learning, and we will see you guys next time.